If you don't have any issues finding the area of shaded regions, you probably won't have any issues with geometric probability because it's just one extra step after that. First, just in general, a probability is a measure of the likelihood that an event will occur. So it's just figuring out what are the chances of the event happening. We probably have done probability previously, but we're going to focus on geometric probability, which is the easiest type of probability that there is. Anytime you are measuring a probability, it's going to be a number between 0 and 1, and it's either going to be a fraction, a decimal, or a percent. I personally prefer to give answers as a percentage, which means that it's going to be between 0 and 100 rather than 0 and 1. And it's written as P of A, so pretty much A stands for like the event, so something is going to go inside of the parentheses, and P just stands for probability. So if I were like flipping a coin, I wanted to know what's the probability of getting a heads, it would be P with the parenthesis heads and then the end parentheses. So it's just telling you what you're looking for the probability of. And then just kind of as basic, if you have a probability of 0, the event will never occur. It's impossible for it to happen. If you have a probability of 1, it will absolutely happen. And depending on where you are in between 0 and 1, it just tells you how likely it is to occur. So closer to 1, the more likely, closer to 0, less likely. Geometric probability, I did mention, is going to be the easiest type of probability that you will ever use, and it's a ratio that involves the length or area. So we're going to have to kind of use geometry. I'm sorry about that. We're going to have to use geometry to figure out some of the probabilities. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing in this section. Alright, so the first one that we're going to do is going to focus more on length, and then the other ones that we're going to do in this section are going to focus more on area, because that's pretty much what our whole chapter has been about, is using area. But this one, we're looking for the probability that a point chosen at random on PQ is on RS. So anytime that you ever use geometric probability, it's always that you're looking for the portion over the total. So you have to create a ratio, and our ratios are going to be as fractions for these ones. So the portion over the total. So you want to know that a point chosen at random on PQ, and PQ is actually going to be our total, because it's telling us that it has to be on PQ. And we also want to see if it will be on RS. So RS is going to be our portion. The other way to kind of figure that out is if you take a look, RS is right there in the purple, and then PQ is there in the green, and it always has to be a number that's going to be less than 1, so you need to have the smaller segment on top. So with this one, all that you do from there is you just figure out the length of each of the segments. So if we take a look at RS, RS has a length of 6. And then PQ has a length of 10. And you can either figure that out just by counting how many spaces are in between or using the distance formula. So either one of those will work. So then we have 6 over 10, which if you wanted to, I like to always give my answers as a percent. So if you're trying to do it in the calculator, just be 6 divided by 10, and then you multiply that answer by 100, and you get 60%. This is also one that I'm sure most of you already know off the top of your head anyways. 6 out of 10 is a 60%, but some of the other ones we get are going to be a little bit more challenging. Before we do any of the area examples, I do want to give you your code word, and your code word for this screencast is Saturday. Once again, your code word is Saturday. So getting into our first area one. So the diameter of the target shown is 80 centimeters, so that's the entire target, and the diameter of the red circle, or the bullseye, is 16 centimeters. An arrow is shot and hits the target. If the arrow is equally likely to land on any point on the target, what is the probability that it lands in the bullseye? So this is kind of more of a real world application of where you would use geometric probability. The only factor that they aren't considering in all of these scenarios is the fact that you can completely miss the target in general. So we find the probability of it hitting the bullseye with the implication that you have to hit the target. So it's actually a smaller percentage than what we're going to find, just because in the real world you can completely miss the target altogether. So we actually have to do this in a couple of different steps. The first thing that we have to do is we have to find the area of the target and then the area of the bullseye. And I'll just start with the target. It doesn't really matter which one you do first, so I have capital A there to stand for area. So the area of the target is a circle, so we have to use the area of a circle, which is pi times radius squared. And if you take a look, we have that the diameter is 80 centimeters, which means that our radius has to be 40 centimeters. And then putting that into the calculator, you get 5,026.5 centimeters squared for the area of the target. Next, I'm going to find the area of the bullseye. Sorry, that is supposed to say bullseye. And once again, your bullseye is a circle, so it's pi times radius squared. And in this one, your radius is 16 centimeters, so our radius is 8. We get 201.06 centimeters squared. So now that we have the area of the bullseye and the area of the target, you want to know the probability of the arrow landing in the bullseye. So this is where that portion over total comes into play. So the portion that we are looking for is the bullseye. So it's the area of the bullseye, which is 201.06 over the area of the area of the total, which is the area of the target, which is 5,026.5. If you divide that in your calculator and then you multiply it by 100, you do get about 4%. So if you take a look at the target, it does look like the bullseye is it's a little bit larger than like on a dartboard or anything like that, but it actually is a very small percentage of hitting the bullseye. And like I said, it's even less of a percentage if you didn't have to hit the target. Now we're just going to kind of take a look at some shapes rather than focusing on just to kind of use different formulas. A lot of these in the real world applications you use mostly area of a circle, but we obviously have so many other shapes that we're going to work with. So the probability of throwing an arrow into the shaded region. So this one we actually have one extra step than we did before, because if we're looking for the area of the shaded region, because that's where we want the arrow to land, we have to first find the area of each of the figures, each of the shapes, then subtract them to get the area of the shaded region, and then we're going to find our percentage. So if you take a look, just first step, you have a rectangle and you have a triangle, so we're just going to start by finding the area of the rectangle. It doesn't really matter which one you want to do first, and that is length times width. And you get 198 units squared. And then we also have a triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 18 times 6. You get 54 units squared. And now if you remember from the last section, to get the area of the shaded region, you have to subtract the two. So it's 198 minus 54. I'm going to write it over here, just because that's the part of the computer that isn't working. You get 144 units squared. So they're the first 3 steps, is just to kind of do those 3 basic things. Now we need the probability of throwing it into the shaded region, so we need the area of the shaded region over the total area, which is the area of the rectangle, which is 198. We're going to divide it in the calculator, and then if you take that and you multiply it by 100, you get about 72.7%. We're going to do one more just to make sure that you get enough examples. So in this one, the geometric probability of a dart landing in the triangle, but not in the circle. So in this one, it kind of also tells you which 2 shapes you have. You have a triangle and you have a circle. So I'm going to start by finding the area of the triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. Your base is 14, and your height, it's telling you, is 10. And then we get 70 inches squared for the area of the triangle. Now we need the area of the circle, which is pi times radius squared. Our radius is given as 3. We get 28.3. Oh, I'm sorry, that's inches, not centimeters. Inches squared. So now what we have to do is we want the geometric probability of the dart landing in the triangle, but not the circle. So this is everything that I'm kind of coloring in green. Is everything that's in the triangle but not a part of the circle. So with this one, it's kind of like we have to find the area of the shaded region, but I'm going to call it shaded in parentheses, or in quotations, sorry, just because we're looking for the yellow portion that I kind of highlighted there in green. So that's kind of what we're looking for. So we're just going to take that 70 minus 28.3. Get 41.7 inches squared. So now that we have that all kind of figured out from there, now we can find the probability. And it was the probability of the dart landing in the triangle, but not the circle, so we need the area that we just found of the shaded region over the total area, which the total area in this case is the triangle. So it's over 70. And when you figure out your percentage, you get about 59.6% for the probability. So that just brings us to the end of the section. They're the only examples that we're going to go through, so make sure that you enter in the code word for this screencast and work on the assignment.